Dr. Andrew Blackwood, a.k.a. Coach Drew. Welcome to the stage.
A few months ago, I was sitting at my desk doing some research, and I came across an ad for divorce, and I'll never forget it. There were 3 words in there that stood out to me. You could get a divorce that was cheap, easy, and fast. Now, as a child of divorced parents and a family therapist and coach for more than 15 years, I know there's nothing cheap, easy, or fast about divorce. In fact, I was 8 years old when I realized that my parents' marriage was not going to last. And it took 5 years for us, our family, to end up in divorce court. And I will never forget the day standing between my dad and my mom, looking up at the judge who asked me at the age of 13, "Can your dad come home?" How did I get there? Have you ever been in a situation in a relational dynamic of so much pain and wondered, how in the world did I get here? Well, the answer is always the same. It's always the same answer. Unaddressed emotional pain. I'm Dr. Andrew Blackwood, also known as Coach Drew, the coach of choice for Christian men who want to improve their marriages and their lives. And how do I do that? I help people learn how to effectively address emotional pain. If there's anything I want everyone to know, is that we can learn to effectively address our pain. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a marriage and family coach, and I've been doing this work for over 15 years. And I thought that 7 years of postgraduate education was going to be enough. I thought getting married as a Christian man, that would be enough to protect me, to insulate my family from marital breakdown. The reality is, it's not what you know. It's what you do with what you know. So there I was, thinking I was good and everything was okay. But I didn't realize that my wife and I were having an argument for 2 years. 2 years. And about my driving, of all things. Now, I like the way that I drive. I don't have any problems with the way I drive. Like everybody else, you get into a car because the point is to get from point A to point B, right? Now, I try to do that in as little time as possible. Is there something wrong with that? I don't think so. I'm not an aggressive driver. I'm an assertive driver. And I'm comfortable with my driving. But she was not. And not only did she tell me with her words, she told me with her body language, involuntarily. Stepping on the brakes on this side of there are no brakes on this side of the car. I'm telling you, and sometimes it would be so dramatic. I mean, and I'm saying, come on, there's at least 3 feet in between me and the next vehicle. I know what I'm doing. I thought it was comical. She did not. And I offered her, those apologies, those Band-Aid apologies where, you say, "I'm sorry," just to move past the moment. Yeah, didn't cut it. Didn't cut it. And I realized that we had gone to another level when she came into the family dining room and I was sitting there eating, and she said to me, "Andrew, it's not going to work anymore." She wasn't talking about my driving. Me, a marriage and family therapist and coach. Marriage was falling apart. In that moment, sobriety came to me. And I said nothing at first. But then I managed to squeak some words out. I said, "Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment." And that moment took 3 days. And when those 3 days went by, I came back to my wife and I said, "Here's what I want to do. Every time we get into the car, I'm going to look you in the eye and I'm going to say we're going to have a safe and uneventful drive." And at first she thought I was patronizing her. And I asked her for her patience, and I just said, "You know what? This is more for me than it is for you." And I want to tell you what I think is one of the best kept secrets in the world. Well, it won't be a secret anymore, but I use the L.I.V.E formula. It's at the heart of The Art of a Genuine Apology, a book that I've written. When I walked through that process, when I said to my wife, I used the L.I.V.E formula, and I'll spell it out for you. I said, honey, I used the L, live. I listed the specific behavior I wanted to apologize for. It required humility, but she knew exactly what I was talking about. We were on the same page because I was specific. Then I moved to the I. I imagined the impact that it had on her. I knew it caused her to feel unsafe. And then I went to V. I verbalized a commitment to a plan of action. And you cannot verbalize a commitment to a plan of action if you have no plan. And if you have no plan, then it's probably going to happen again. Then I moved to E, where I extended an invitation for her to give me feedback all along the way. I would say to her, how am I doing today, honey? And she'd look at me like, not too bad, not too bad. So there was ongoing accountability, and that's the secret. When you use the L.I.V.E formula, your apology lives on long beyond that moment. And that's what I want everybody to know. You can use the L.I.V.E formula to address relational pain in your life. Now, my mission as a coach is to get to people before they need to get to me, because I've found that we tend to wait until it's too late sometimes. The relationship, the thing is half dead. We're there, trying to resuscitate it when all along we could have cultivated it. Why wait to resuscitate when we can cultivate? I wrote this book, and I'm getting some good feedback about it, and it thrills my soul to hear that people's marriages, their relationships are changing. And one of my favorite stories is about a man named Doug. Now, Doug waited a long time. In fact, it was 3 days after his son, Stephen, tried to take his life. 3 days after his son tried to take his life. Sometimes we wait till the cry for help is so loud that you can't do anything but listen. And that's what the art of a genuine apology is about. It's not just about what you say. It's about learning how to hear, learning how to listen. And when Doug started to listen, Stephen was able to walk him back to moments, a series of moments, a series of arguments that caused him to feel unloved, uncared for, and unimportant. Doug learned how to address it. He told Stephen what he was going to do and how he's going to make it change. And it changed everything. It changed everything. The art of a genuine apology can change everything. And everyone can learn how to do it. Again, my mission is to get to people before they need to get to me. Now, I want you to come back with me to that courtroom. Dad on the left, Mom on the right, and the judge looking at me. Can your dad come home? And I knew my answer was going to break my dad's heart. But what I did not know was that I was participating in a generational pattern. See, my dad was separated from his dad, and he fought to keep his family together. And that fight was all about anxiety, and it came out as anger and control. We can change that. We can change that. And if that's something that you want help with, please, by all means, reach out to me. Send me an email at info@coachdrew.ca. I'm all about trying to help people make that change. And if that's something that you want, send me an email and put, I want your support in the subject head. And when you do, I'll send you an email. I'll send you a copy of my PDF book, free of charge. And if you need more support, we'll figure out where to go from there. Remember, you can learn to effectively address emotional pain in your relationships and change everything.